This is the live podcast with Manuel, living in full expression. Welcome to the live podcast with me, your host, Manuel. And today, I need to tell you something that might just save you from another year of broken promises. Your 2026 resolutions are already dead. Not because you don't try hard enough, not because you lack discipline, not because you're lazy. They are dead because you're building goals on a version of yourself that doesn't exist yet. And here's what I mean. Right now, you're probably making a list. In 2026, I'm going to lose 30 pounds, launch my business, wake up at 5 a.m., post content daily, and finally write my book. But here's the problem. The person who can do these things consistently, that's not who you are already today. And goals don't change who you are. Identity do. And today, I'm going to be showing you how to approach 2026 differently. Not by setting better goals, but by becoming someone different. And this is about transformation, not to-do list. And so if you're ready, let's get started. Before we go forward, let's be honest about where we've been. Think about your 2025 resolutions, the ones you set with so much excitement on January 1st. How many made it past February? If you're like most people, the answer is 0. Or maybe 1, or even that one you're doing half-heartedly. And here's what probably happened. By January, you were on fire. You went to the gym every day, waking up early, meal prepping, posting content, momentum everywhere. And by February, you missed a day, and then 2, then a week. Life got busy, the motivation faded. And then by March, you stopped pretending. The gym membership you're still paying for, you haven't even been there since Valentine's Day. And here's the worst part. You blamed yourself. I just don't have discipline. I'm not motivated enough. Maybe next year. But that's not what happened. What actually happened is that you tried to change behavior without changing your identity. And behavior always reverts to identity. And so, I'm going to be showing you the difference between identity and a goal mindset. And I'm going to give you a few examples. Goals are about what you want to achieve, but identity is about who you want to become. Goals are about outcome, while identity is about the process. Goals ask, what do I want? Identity asks, who am I? And let me show you what this looks like. A goal mindset will say, I want to lose 30 pounds. An identity mindset will say, I'm becoming someone who takes care of their body. A goal mindset could say, I want to launch my business. An identity mindset will say, I'm becoming an entrepreneur who executes ideas. A goal mindset would say, I want to wake up at 5 a.m. An identity mindset will say, I'm becoming someone who owns their mornings. So do you see the difference? The goal is about the destination. The identity is about the journey. And here's what changes everything. When you shift your identity, the goals become inevitable. You don't have to force yourself to go to the gym. You go because that's who you are now. You don't have to motivate yourself to work on your business. You work on it because you're an entrepreneur, and that's your identity. I want you to know this. Identity drives behavior. Behavior creates results, and results reinforce identity. In that cycle, we are building it in 2026. So let me give you the 3 most powerful identity shifts you can make heading into 2026. Identity shift number 1 is from being a consumer to being a creator. Most people consume content, courses, advice, inspiration. They always learn, always planning, always preparing, but never creating. In 2026, you are becoming a creator. Not I want to create more content, but I'm a creator. Creating is what I do. When that's your identity, you create even when you don't feel like it. even when it's not perfect, even when no one is watching, because creators create, and that's who they are. Identity shift number 2, from a starter to a finisher. This one is huge, especially as we close out on 2025. Look at everything you started this year: courses you bought, projects you began, promises you made. How many did you finish? Most people are starters. They are great at beginning and terrible at completing. In 2026, you are becoming a finisher. Not I want to finish more things, but I am someone who finishes what I start. And here's how this connects right now. You've got 10 days left in 2025. Pick one thing you started this year and then finish, and close it before December 31st. Not for the result, but for the identity. Because finishers finish. That's who you are becoming. Identity shift number 3, from a reactor to a creator of your life. Most people are reactors. They respond to what life throws at them. They are busy, but not intentional. They are working, but not building. They wake up to notifications. They spend their days in other people's agendas. They go to bed exhausted from the busyness, but unfulfilled from lack of purpose. In 2026, you're becoming a creator of your life. Not I want more control, but I am someone who designs my life intentionally. This means you set boundaries. You say no to good things to say yes to great things. You build systems. You create space. You choose your priorities instead of letting urgency dictate them. Creators of their life don't ask permission. They don't wait for circumstances to be perfect. They decide what they want and architect their life around it. Okay, so how do you actually do this? How do you shift identity instead of just setting goals? And here's the framework that would help you achieve this. Step number 1, finish 2025 as your future self. Before you can become someone new in 2026, you need to close the loop on 2025. Here's what I wanted to do. Look at your year. What did you start that you didn't finish? Pick just one. Just one. And in the next 10 days, finish it. Not perfectly, not completely polished, just finished. Ship it, complete it, close the loop. Because the person who finishes what they start, that's your 2026 identity. And you're practicing it right now. This isn't about the thing itself. It's about proving to yourself, I'm someone who follows through. Step number 2, define your 2026 identity, not your goals. Instead of writing goals, write identity statements. And here's a format you can use. In 2026, I'm someone who, you fill in the blank. Complete that sentence 3 to 5 times. Be specific, be bold, write the identity of the person you're becoming. Here are some examples. In 2026, I am someone who creates valuable content consistently. Another one could be, in 2026, I am someone who invests in my health daily, not just when I feel motivated. In 2026, I'm someone who builds a real relationship, not just collecting contacts. In 2026, I am someone who takes courageous action despite fear. And you could also say, in 2026, I am someone who finishes what I start. Notice something. These aren't goals. These are identities. You are not saying, I want to post content. You are saying, I am a content creator. And step number 3, identify the evidence. And here's where it gets practical. For each identity statement, you ask yourself, what would someone with this identity do daily? Let's take, for example, I am someone who creates valuable content consistently. Here could be some evidence you could stack. I write for 30 minutes every morning before checking my email. I publish one piece of content weekly no matter what. I capture ideas throughout the day in a notes app or a notebook. I consume content with a creator's mindset, always asking, what can I learn from this? See what we did. We translated identity into behavior. Now do this for each identity statement. Get specific, make it observable, because identity without evidence is just fantasy. Step number 4, stack your identity. Here's the secret most people miss. You don't build identity through willpower. You build it through systems. Take your evidence-based behaviors and stack them onto existing habits. And here are some examples. After I pour my morning coffee, I will write for 30 minutes. After I finish my workout, I capture one content idea. After I close my laptop for the day, I journal 3 wins. When you stack new identity behaviors onto an existing habit, they stick. You are not relying on motivation. You are building systems that make your identity inevitable. Step number 5, celebrate identity wins, not just outcome wins. Here's where most people sabotage themselves. They only celebrate the outcome. I lost 30 pounds. I launched the business. I hit the revenue goal. But identity is built in the daily actions, not just the big results. So celebrate differently in 2026. Every time you act according to your new identity, acknowledge it. For example, I showed up to write today even though I didn't feel like it. That's who I am now. I said no to a client that wasn't aligned. That's who I am now. I finished that project instead of starting something new. That's who I am now. These micro celebrations reinforce identity. They tell your brain, this is who you are now. And over time, the identity becomes unshakable. All right, here are your challenge for the next 10 days and beyond. Day 1 to 3, pick one unfinished thing from 2025, just one. It could be a project 90% completed that you abandoned, a course you bought and you never finished, a promise you made and didn't keep, a relationship conversation you've been avoiding, a creative work sitting in draft. Whatever it is, commit to finishing it by December 31st. Not perfectly, not brilliantly, just done. Document what you're finishing. Tell someone for accountability. And on December 31st, when it's complete, celebrate. Not the thing itself. Celebrate the identity. I am someone who finishes what I start. Day 4 to day 6, your identity audit. Spend time reflecting on 2025 through the lens of identity, not just achievement. Ask yourself, who was I in 2025? Not what did I do, but who was I being? What do I want to become in 2026? What behavior do I need to stop that don't align with my future identity? What behaviors do I need to start that align with who I am becoming? Write your 3 to 5 identity statements. For example, in 2026, I am someone who you fill in the blank. Day 7 to day 10, this is the system building. For each identity statement, design the evidence. What would someone with this identity do daily? Then you stack it onto an existing habit, just like we did before now. Then, this is an example of how you create your identity stack. After your existing habit, I will your new identity behavior. So you set up your environment to support your identity. If you're becoming a creator, set up a dedicated creation space. If you're becoming a finisher, create a finish line ritual. If you're becoming intentional, design your morning routine. By December 31st, you should have one 2025 project finished, which prove you're a finisher. You would have had 3 to 5 clear identity statements for 2026 and your daily behavior stack onto existing habits. And finally, an environment designed to support your identity. And this is where it gets beautiful. This is for January 2026 and beyond, the identity life. You wake up on January 1st and you're not starting from zero. You're not trying to be disciplined. You are disciplined. You are not hoping to be consistent. You are consistent. You are not planning to be a creator. You are a creator. Your daily behaviors aren't forced. They are automatic because they are aligned with who you are. And when you sleep, because you will. We all do. You don't collapse into shame and give up. You simply ask, what would the person I'm becoming do next? And you do that. Identity-based living isn't about perfection. It's about direction. And every day, you're either moving towards your identity or away from it. Every action is a vote for the type of person you're becoming. In 2026, that's 365 days of voting. By December 2026, when you look back, you don't just see goals achieved, you will see a completely different person because you didn't just do different things, you became someone different. Before we close, let me warn you about the mistake that derail identity transformation. Mistake number one, choosing too many identity at once. Don't try to become 10 different people in 2026. Pick 3 to 5 identity shifts. Go deep, not wide. Mistake number two, setting identity without evidence. I'm a successful entrepreneur. This means nothing without daily behaviors. So define what successful entrepreneurs do. Then you do those things. Mistake number three, comparing your beginning to someone else's middle. You're building identity from scratch. They've been building for years. Your evidence will be smaller at first. That's okay. Consistency will always beat intensity. Mistake number four, abandoning identity after one sleep. You'll miss days. You'll revert to old patterns temporarily. That doesn't erase your identity. One vote against doesn't cancel all the votes for. Just get back on track. Mistake number five, waiting to feel like your new identity before acting. You will never feel like a creator until you create. You will never feel like a finisher until you finish. Action creates identity. Identity doesn't create action, so you act first. All right, here are your action plan for this episode. This week, choose one unfinished thing from 2025 to complete by December 31st. Block 30 to 60 minutes daily to work on finishing it. Tell one person what you're finishing for accountability. Begin your identity audit. Who was I in 2025? Who am I becoming in 2026? And then you write your first identity statement. In 2026, I am becoming someone who, you fill in the blank. Next week, you complete your 2025 project. Ship it on up before December 31st. Finalize your 3 to 5 identity statements. Define your daily evidence for each identity. Create your habit stacks. Set up your environment for your new identity. And finally, celebrate finishing 2025 as your future self. And I want you to remember this. 2026 doesn't need another version of you with a to-do list. It needs a version of you who has fundamentally changed who you are. Goals are what you want to achieve. Identity is who you want to become. And when you become the right person, the achievements become inevitable. So in closing, here's what I want you to know. You are done with the cycle of excitement in January and disappointment by March. You are done setting goals that sound good but don't stick. You are done being the person who starts strong and fades. In 2026, you are becoming someone different. Not someone who tries harder, someone who is different. A creator, a finisher, a person who designed their life intentionally. And it starts right now. Not January 1st. I mean right now. You've got 10 days to finish 2025 as your future self, to prove to yourself, I am someone who follows through. Because the person who enters 2026 having finished what they started in 2025, that person is already transformed. That person doesn't need New Year's resolutions. That person has a new identity, and 2026 belongs to people with new identities. This has been the live podcast with me, your host, Manuel. And until I see you in our next episode, keep living in full expression.